Hi again. I should start by saying I don't know where to look. So that's where I'm looking. Am I looking at you? I don't know, but that's where it's going to be. And I remembered my glasses, my readers this time. So let's get into it. I started and I am in the middle of Unstoppable Brain. It started off kind of slow for me. I have to be honest. It's very interesting, but it took a little bit for me to get through. And so now I'm in the middle. There's middle parts that I really like. And now I'm kind of on the end of the book. It's probably got about 50 pages left. And I hope it gets a little bit more interesting so I can finish, which led me to a question. Why do we feel like we have to finish a book if we don't like it? Why do we feel like we have to get that closure or just complete it, even if it's something that we're not enjoying? I can easily do that with movies because I don't like movies, most movies, primarily because they build them up so much and they're always like, oh, this is the best movie I've ever seen. And then, I go to see it and it's like, this better be good because so many people have seen it and told me that I have to see it. And then I start watching it and I'm like, not so much. So I guess I need to get into that mindset of for books too. But today, the book I want to talk about, I absolutely adore. It's one of my very favorite books. It was gifted to me by one of the gentlemen whose hair I cut, and he gifted it to me and one other person at my work, and I hadn't even heard of it. And I read it and it made me cry. And I just love what's the word I want to use? Oh, it's the gentleness, the kindness, the childlikeness. It's vulnerable. Oh, it's just so sweet. So it is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, and it's by Charlie Mackery, I think is what it is. But it's written for all ages, which is why I think I really like it because I make my podcast for all ages. Not everybody's going to resonate with every episode. Not every topic is going to be something that an 8-year-old would like or an 80-year-old would like, or even you might not like. But this book, you could pick it up. It's one of those that you could just pick it up and just leaf through it, grab a page, and find something that makes you think, makes you smile. I'm already getting choked up just thinking about some of the pages. I cry really easy too. But anyway, so if you have not heard of this, I'm not going to plagiarize. I'm not going to read the whole book, but I want to read like the intro thing. And he does it in a cursive type of writing. So, yes, I have my readers on, but sometimes I struggle with making out his writing. Sorry, Charlie. Hello. You started out the beginning, which is impressive. I usually start in the middle and never read introductions. It's surprising that I've made a book because I'm not good at reading them. The truth is, I need pictures. They are like islands, places to get in a sea of words. This book is for everyone, whether you are 80 or 8. I feel like I'm both sometimes. That's how I feel too. I'd like to be, I'd like it to be one you can dip into anywhere, anytime. Start in the middle if you like, scribble on it, crease the corners, and leave it well thumbed. The drawings are mainly of a boy, a mole, a fox, and a horse. I'll tell you a little about them, although I'm sure you'll see things here that I don't, so I'll be quick. The boy is lonely when the mole first surfaces. They spend time together, gazing into the wild. I think the wild is a bit like life, frightening sometimes, but beautiful. In the wanderings, they meet the fox. It's never going to be easy meeting a fox if you're a mole. The boy is full of questions. The mole is greedy for cake. The fox is mainly silent and wary because he's been hurt by life. The horse is the biggest thing they have ever encountered and also the gentlest. They are all different, like us, and each has their own weaknesses. I can see myself in all four of them. Perhaps you can too. Their adventures happen in springtime, where one moment snow is falling and the sun shines the next, which is also a little bit like life. It can turn on a sixpence. I hope this book encourages you, perhaps to live courageously with more kindness for yourself and for others, and to ask for help when you need it, which is always a brave thing to do. When I was making the book, I often wondered, who on earth am I to be doing this? But as the horse says, the truth is everyone is winging it. So I say, spread your wings and follow your dreams. This book is one of mine. I hope you enjoy it and much love to you. Thank you, Charlie. So, yes, I love it because it is so simplistic, but brilliant at the same time. And, um, being kind to yourself is one of the greatest kindnesses, said the mole. I love it. It's very sweet, thought provoking, just a great book. So, and it's an easy read. It's all the pages have just a few words. Well, of course, the one I open it to doesn't. See, just a few words, but the illustrations, everything. It's just wonderful. It's a wonderful book. So if you read it, let me know in the comments or email me, dawnversations@gmail.com. Tell me what you thought of the book. Let's see. I wrote down other things that I wanted to talk about. Here's the readers again. We talked about the book. Um, yeah, why do we feel like we need to finish a book? I already talked about that. We went on a trip this weekend to see family, and that's why I brought the book along so that I could read it on the drive, which is sometimes I can, sometimes I can't because of motion sickness. But I was reading it and it was good. Um, we went out of town for my husband's grandpa's 90th birthday, and such a dear man. And they are just great people. His whole cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody was there. And, they made homemade ice cream, and it was just really nice just to get away. And they live very, very simply. And I love it. It's peaceful, it's quiet, and it was a good getaway because I think some of you might know that I help care for the elderly. And one of the women that I cared for a year passed away. And that was a shock and very sad. And then another one of the people that I care for went into the hospital, um, and is fine. Will be getting out, but that was a shock too. So it was kind of a rough weekend. It was emotional. And so it felt really good to get away. It was awesome. And it made me think about how we just shouldn't take anything for granted. Being around my husband's whole family and having it be all happy, and then just having all of those things happen, that made me sad and worry. So I just feel like just don't take people for granted. Don't take things for granted. Be appreciative for what you have. And, that could be the smallest things, but you can still be appreciative of it. A roof over your head, clothes on your back. It's easy to complain and get wrapped up in things, but you're probably more fortunate than you realize or than a lot of other people are. I wanted to know if you had any books that you would suggest that you think I should read and that you'd like me to cover. I have so many books, but most of them are nonfiction. And I was talking about different books with some of my relatives this weekend, and they were saying that they read history books, or some of them did like fantasy style, which I've never delved into. I do like Harry Potter. My kids read those books in school, so I'm familiar with those, but I never sat down and read all of them. So if you have any suggestions for books, leave me a comment, and hopefully I'll have a chance to get to them. I would love to read anything that somebody suggests. My next episode coming up. Oh, my next episode coming up on Friday is with a lady named Kelly, and she's going to talk about self-sabotage and the abundance mindset. And it's a great episode, and it's very inspiring and will make you happy and hopefully change your mindset a little bit. Um, I am also becoming a plant mom. I've realized I've acquired some as gifts. And when we were gone, we came back and some of my plants were very droopy and sad. And I went out and bought Miracle-Gro, and I am trying to take care of all of them. So that's my new thing now as a hobby. I am a plant mom. So, if you have helpful hints of anything that you are growing that you think that I would enjoy, I'd love for you to reach out and tell me. I should actually do a podcast episode. I've done one about herbs, but I've never just discussed plants. So, if you know a lot about plants, also this is my mind. It goes. I don't know what is the matter with me. I probably have ADHD, but I'm not joking and I'm not making fun. I just feel like I might have that. Um, no, what was I gonna say? Plants, herbs. Oh, I am going to try and do the no shopping, no buying anything except for Christmas for buying for my person, and my grandkids. I am going to not be buying anything for me. I'll for sure do 6 months. I don't know if I can commit to a year, but I'm gonna try and do no shopping for 6 months for myself for anything, face stuff, makeup, whatever. I'm gonna just take a break from shopping and see if I can do it. But I have learned that I can do things that are hard and that I didn't think I could do, like quitting drinking. I will be going on a year next month, September. I believe it's the 23rd. I'll have to go back and look. But so if you are sober, if you have gone down the road of sobriety, I would like to know how you celebrate when you come to your milestone of sobriety and quitting alcohol. That was a huge thing for me to quit. I was really talented at drinking, very thirsty. But anyway, so that's coming up next month. So I'll definitely be doing an episode about that. Maybe I can find a book about sobriety. I don't know. If you know somebody that you think I would like to have as a guest talking about sobriety, talking about minimalism, I'd like to do an episode about that. Plants and herbs, things like that, I'm super interested in right now. If you listen to last week's episode, it was all about the brain and sugar and how sugar affects the brain. So, yeah, I'm kind of into that type of topic area right now. I did have a few people reach out to me about my black and white episode that I aired, and I'm super appreciative of that. Thank you so much. Keep the feedback coming. I'd love to know what you think about more of this random, candid type of podcast where it's just me talking about random things, because that's what I'm best at. Stick with what you know, right? Okay, so I think that's it for this week's episode. I'm going to try and finish the rest of Unstoppable Brain. And I also have a list of books that I want to get at the library, even though I already own like 5 million books. But if you have any input, any books that you want me to read, anything you want me to talk about, any questions for me, whatever, you name it, you can leave it in the comments or send it to dawnversations@gmail.com. Don't forget to listen to my episode on Friday. I love the feedback. So let me know how I'm doing. I would love to hear from you. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.